Well, yesterday was quite a day. I really lost sleep last night after watching over and over again the testimony of the Attorney General of the United States. How sad it is. How sad it is for us to see the top law enforcement officer in our country misrepresenting, withholding the truth from the Congress of the United States. I think it's really time that as I watched him and kept saying, what could possibly be motivating the Attorney General of the United States to disrespect the Constitution of the United States, the separation of powers, the right of Congress to know? What possible motivation could the Attorney General of the United States have to dishonor the office that he holds by writing there for the whole world to see, to misrepresent the facts to the Congress of the United States? And then I began to connect the dots. We have Mitch McConnell, who in his fundraising pitches has described himself as the Grim Reaper for any legislation that comes over from the House that will go to a Senate graveyard, calls himself the Grim Reaper. Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, Attorney General Barr, there's a connection. There is an ideological anti-governance, anti-science, anti-meeting the needs of the American people. So when he was testifying and being so cavalier about Special Counsel Mueller and the Mueller report, and so disrespectful of Congress, I thought this isn't about President Trump only. It's about a right-wing ideological they're handmaidens to the special interest in our country. And it's important to connect the dots, but the American people have to know what this means to them. If you're a young person, you care about the climate crisis. We're passing that bill right now on the floor, and I'm going to have to leave momentarily to vote for it. It is, and that's going to be dead on arrival in the Senate. If you're a young person, you care about net neutrality, freedom on the internet, the Grim Reaper is going to kill it in the Senate. If you're a woman, Violence Against Women Act, equal pay for equal work that we sent over to the Senate, the Grim Reaper, Mitch McConnell, will kill it. If you care about reducing the role of money in politics as H.R. 1, legislation stopping the voter suppression and expanding the voice of the people in our political process, Mitch McConnell will kill it because he has said the problem is not too much money in politics. He says there's not enough money in politics. Our H.R. 1 is about expanding the voice of the people. Their H.R. 1 was giving 83% of the tax benefit to the top 1%. So this is about policy. It's also about gun safety. Gun safety, we sent over H.R. 8 and H.R. 1112 for responsible background checks, handmaidens to the National Rifle Association, and the special interest. Connect the dots. When you see Barr sitting there, what's his motivation? His motivation, his loyalty, is not to his oath of office, and it is to Donald Trump, but all of it, and the Republicans in Congress, is to the special interest. So whether it's H.R. 1 or the gun safety, paycheck fairness, violence against women, save the internet, climate action now, the list goes on. And we will be sending more legislation. But apparently I have news for Mitch McConnell. He may consider them dead on arrival and the Grim Reaper for all of these actions taken by the House of Representatives. But they are alive and well among the American people. And there is a direct connection. And really the probably biggest and saddest of all is while the Attorney General was sitting there withholding the truth from Congress, misrepresenting, being inconsistent in his statements. With shame, how could he do such a thing? But again, having the support of the Republicans in Congress and the senators behaving in a way that has said to them, we don't care about the branch of government in which we serve. We're not even loyal to strengthening the institution of which we are a part. while we're sitting there, once again, the Justice Department was intensifying its assault on the Affordable Care Act, and that they did their filing, their further filing to get rid of the entire Affordable Care Act. So that's what it means to people with pre-existing conditions. His sitting there in that arrogance. I don't care about your pre-existing condition. I care about the special interest in our country. That was the message of Barr. So the connecting of the dots between Mitch McConnell, the Republican agenda in Congress, such as it is, the special interest agenda fueled by dark special interest money, that's what that hearing was about. It wasn't about technicalities. It wasn't about who wrote the letter and how he characterized the letter. That's interesting. But what is deadly serious about it is the Attorney General of the United States of America was not telling the truth to the Congress of the United States. That's a crime.